Hey Bard, this is a crazy story. I walk in here. I say to myself, look at this Bard, he is telling a crazy story.
Pardon me, sir. Whatever do you mean?
So many deaths, so many desertions. I say to myself, why is this Bard telling a story where the heroes die? That's crazy. I tell the best hero stories. My heroes never die, always win.
Well, sir, I am merely telling the tale as it happened. I am offering little in the way of embellishment. Perhaps you would like to tell the next chapter.
Not gonna happen. You can afford me. This tavern can't afford me. I'm known as the greatest storyteller in the country. Trust me, travel the country and ask about me. People will tell you I'm the best, expensive but the best. Heroes that don't die and never desert their quest. Way better story.
Well, as luck would have it, this is a brief chapter of our tale where our heroes neither die nor abandon their quest. It begins where we last left off. The heroes of Otari spent the night camped inside of the Lurker's cobweb-infested lair. Though it was anything but comfortable, they correctly assessed it was secure from the other denizens of the dungeon and were able to heal sufficiently to continue. They made their way back through the second level of the Abomination vaults until they found a path they had not traversed before. As fate would have it, this brought them directly into the throne room of the Morlock King Grolgust and his remaining soldiers. Durin attempted to converse with the creature. Grolgust referred to his people as the Ghost Queen Morlocks, but as soon as Durin mentioned Belkara by name, Grolgust ordered his soldiers to attack. It seemed the Morlock revered the founder of the dungeon with great fervor. The party found that this last remnant of the Ghost Queen Morlocks was stronger and more deadly than their compatriots they had already battled. To make matters more complicated, Grolgust summoned a hideous aberration known as a Grothlut into the battle. The Grothlut, a fresh warp with a sickening slug-like body, was immediately recognized by Durin as a creature that would explode upon death. Just being near the horror was enough to make everyone in the room sick from its presence. The battle was a difficult one, my friends, but you would have been proud of the heroics of Durin, Anya Boblin, and Shenpo. They were able to slay most of the Morlocks and the Grothlut, and avoided being covered in its explosive gore upon its death. Grolgust himself wielded magic that made things difficult for the party, especially the drunken monk, Shenpo. Grolgust summoned mirror images of himself that prevented many of the monk's deadly strikes, though it did put Grolgust on the defensive. Whether from frustration at the Morlock King's defenses or from wanting to interrogate him from a stronger position, Shenpo continued to beat upon his foe even after the creature asked for a parley to end the battle. This decision would prove nearly fatal, as the remaining Morlock engineer, armed with a strange contraption that fired junk debris at astonishing and damaging speeds, inflicted nearly mortal wounds on Shenpo as his master escaped from the throne room. Eventually, our heroes caught up with Grolgust in the shrine room the Morlocks had constructed to honor their evil patroness. He was trying to shove 2 gems into the eye sockets of the effigy, but nothing happened. In despair, Grolgust told the party of his people's pitiful flight from the lower levels of the dungeon. In an astonishing twist, he revealed that most of his people had been wiped out 1 level below, in a great library populated by ghouls. Shortly after this, the party executed the evil creature and took the gemstones back to the secret room where they had found the inert skull contraption. The room turned out to be an elevator that took them to the next floor down. Instead of setting off right away, the party decided to take the route the spirit of Otari had shown them previously. This exit placed them in a long hallway which curiously had another staircase that went back up to the 2nd level. Our heroes did not recall seeing a room that would have had such a staircase, and so followed it upwards. The staircase led them to none other than Volluck's laboratory.
Who is that?
Volluck, Belkora's apprentice, a drow spellcaster and creator of the lenses for Gauntlight. Have you not been paying attention?
Never heard of him. Sounds like a simp.
Well, you may not be wrong on that account. He was quite in love with Belkora, and with his own reflection apparently. The party placed the soul gem they had acquired from Mr. Beak in the goblin doll they found in this lab. The doll came to life and spoke in the goblin language, which was no problem due to Boblin's presence. The poor creature described himself as Bobo, a servant of Volluck that had been promised eternal life. Boblin explained the situation to Boba, who asked to be released so that his soul could continue on to the afterlife. In exchange for this kindness, he offered information on his former master and provided the location of a stash of treasure he had hidden in his servants' quarters. He shared that his master had been a charming and narcissistic man who was faithful to Belkara above all. She had promised him the power to achieve the perfect form, an obsession Bulba said consumed him. Bublin honored his word and destroyed Bulba's soul gem, drawing the attention of the goddess Parasma, blessed be her name, who granted a blessing to him for his act of mercy. The party found that Bulba had been true to his word, finding a sizable cache of goods in his quarters. I must confess, though, patrons, that our heroes could not help themselves and continued to tempt fate by delving ever deeper into Voluk's long, undisturbed dormitory. They found an operating table with a strange object upon it, which resembled a large log. Bublin pushed it off, only to watch as it squirmed and animated before attacking.